A group of academics has hit out at the higher education charity Quality Assurance Agency for recommending that the teaching of mathematics should include the practice of equality, diversity and inclusion within the curriculum. The QAA has recommended that the teaching of maths should take into account the motivations behind the statistics, citing that data was once used to the advantage of fascist and racist ideologies and should therefore be incorporated into every aspect of the learning experience. Anyone who uses the term learning experience should not be involved with teaching. It's such an ugly phrase. Anyway, since the report was released, 50 mathematicians pieced together a letter accusing the QAA of politicising the curriculum. I'm now joined by Professor Jane Hutton from the Department of Statistics at the University of Warwick. Thank you so much for joining me, Professor. Are you going to tell me that binary numbers are non-binary?
I don't think that's a particularly relevant discussion at the moment. I think what is interesting is the example you gave about statistics being used for fascist purposes. That is the example given, but there's no discussion of the tens of statistics used to estimate how many tens of millions people died in socialist and communist situations. So Stalin, after the 1937 census, ordered the death of the senior statisticians who'd collected the data because it revealed how many people had died because of his policies. I also noticed there's no interest in the problems of current official statisticians. People who are collecting data for the Sustainable Development Goals are at very high risk of upsetting their governments.
But isn't this different from the teaching of mathematics, that if you teach people to be good statisticians and you teach them to understand maths, that seems to me to be entirely out of the political arena, and the points you make are really extraordinarily important and fundamental to the understanding of a history, but dare I say less so to the understanding of mathematics?
I think I would strongly encourage all students to apply their mathematical and statistical skills in everyday life, and I certainly personally do include ethics and analysing the statistics of stop and search by gender or the Sustainable Development Goals and the quality of the data. But those are optional courses that students can choose. I see no reason to force students to do history. And certainly if they're going to do any discussion of morality and virtue, they need to actually have some understanding of the basic theories, not simply leap on a bandwagon.
Yes, but the point seems to me that the two are, in a way, very separate, that you need to understand how statistics operate, how to interpret them, what reliability you can apply to them, and so on. And that is a straightforward academic approach. Then how you apply it involves ethics and history and all sorts of other things, but you need that pure mathematic base first, which is entirely, to my mind, apolitical.
Yes, I mean, mathematics is a universal language. It's the most powerful language we've got, and it can be used in a huge number of different ways, like anything powerful. But you do need to distinguish between the tools and the way those tools are used, and not insist that there is only one particular way in which they can be used. I would always want students to be able to argue both sides of a case before they come down on one side.